we're gonna actually pick that up.
Ooh.
I assume that's a Graves jungle, and that on top. This is a comp that wants to scale. This is a comp that wants to play
really like
towards
their
late game.
composition here.
Yeah,
I
this is
think
a
yeah, I think they've got it and drafted out of their mind. They've learned all their lessons from yesterday, and I actually really like that comp. I think it makes a lot of sense. They can obviously just react to anyone getting engaged on with the Nautilus, with the Nocturne ult, sorry, and also the Time Control. And Cassio and Zaya are going to be right in that backline with no obvious way to how the enemy team will actually get on.
Nocturne more often than not just going to win these. I don't see a way that Nocturne with lethal tempo is not going to beat the Graves, in like the really short or really extended trades.
What are we
But we're
going
gonna
to
see. I guess. Yeah.
You reckon?
When are we gonna see level 1? I don't think
We've
we're
got
gonna see.
Hook on the table, and the Karma, level 1 is pretty powerful. I kind of want to see them try something. Their whole thing is early game here, so I think they should be looking for any opportunity at all to get ahead in this game.
Yeah, they're running topside. They wanna. They looks like.
Will
they
he go
want
for the
some
flash?
action.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Yeah, they're just gonna walk up and probably contest for some vision.
They do get the wards down on the red buff and the Raptors. They're pinging it for some gold here, very efficiently.
Yeah, five gold in the pocket. Game's already won. In Champ Select. If you look bot side, both of the 80 carries are going Doran's Blade, which means that they're both very aware that this is not going to be like a bloodless lane. It's going to be farming up until it's just a straight up fight, and that 80 health from the Doran's Blade is going to make a massive difference in the grand scheme of this. But Nocturne's starting top side, so he's going to be pathing bot side. So they have to be very aware of this, because when that 330 timer hits, and Caitlyn and Nautilus are pushed up, it sounds like a Tom Kench W into all kinds of bad news for the spot lane.
And we see Gardevoir here going for the double pot into. He's going to build the Doran shield in lane. I do like it, but also Karma could just run up to you right now and abuse you, I think. I think it's one of those lanes where it's going to be very sad.
Yeah. I think he's expecting it as well.
It's a
Tom Kench into any range top is a problem, and Tom Kench into Karma means that any single time you try and hit her, she's going to just shield through all of that. Graves almost went for a really cheesy level 2 gank, but they put that ward down, luckily. I think that would have been quite possibly the earliest first blood of today. But it doesn't end up happening. Also, Ornn has gone.
Pryo in the bot lane. We're going to get Pryo in the mid lane. And this Nocturne, he's going to have a lot of opportunities to gank. But hopefully Graves will be there.
If Boosted ends up winning this, we need to see if that's a deliberate thing from the team, or if that's just the way these lanes sort of pan out. I know Caitlyn just innately has more push than Zaya, level 1 to 3 at least. But they're gonna get level 2. The hook comes through, and Nautilus lands the first. Caitlyn hasn't got a single water as the W comes through, and Tom Kench is gonna try and go, but there's nothing gonna happen from this. Yeah, nothing happens from that, but you can see the power of that as a skirmish is happening in the jungle. Syndra's first move, but Cassiopeia is here as well. As Nocturne looks like he's on death's door here. He's going to be walking away. Graves is red buff, but the Tom Kench W comes through. I think Zaya's going to clear up a second kill there. He's going to try and clear the Syndra, but Nautilus is on the way. Nautilus misses the dredge line. Syndra's going to take a turret shot, and Graves Spanner gets the first one. Graves Spanner gets the second one, sorry. First blood went actually to Syndra. But Graves Spanner is going to try and chase down this Graves, but he's blinded. The Nautilus hook might be coming in any moment now, but they're just going to walk away from this. Really bloody 3 minutes. I think that's the fastest first blood today.
Yeah. I think that is going to be the way this game is going to be going from here. I think this is going to be a very, very bloody match right here. And I'm down for it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I really think that's good for Granny Spanner. He's got the double buffs. He's got the first blood gold. He's not bad right now. He's going to be happy with that outcome from this.
Yeah, I think anything that stops Homo Salis from just running away with the game is really good for Boosted and Granny as well, because she's just waiting for Ornn to realize that he can make her stuff. He's just waiting for that moment while Homo Salis is kind of fighting an uphill battle innately, knowing that Ornn is going to get to a point where it's problematic. And Nocturne's going to get to a point where if you don't have wards in your jungle, then, or if you don't clear wards in your jungle, then, oh, the dredge line comes through and just misses. The Abyssal is going to land on one. Caitlin's going to have to flash that away. But Nautilus also flashes. There's no flashes bot side, and Nautilus doesn't have Hex Flash as its huge wave stacks into top side. I think Nautilus is going to re-gank here. There's no way. This bot lane has no flashes. Zai still has her flash as there's a trade going on in top side. Karma's going to land that W, but Ornn's going to just pick up all of these minions worth of XP as well. The Dredge Dunk comes in, hooks a poor caster minion, but he's just going to pop his shield and he's just going to continue about his way as if nothing happened there, as if we didn't see that. There's another knock-up happens top side. This is a very, very trade-heavy game.
Oh, and he tanked the tower shot.
Tanks 2 tower shots, actually.
Jeez.
As Graves is in the jungle again. This is a very, like, spicy game. There's a lot of trading going on at every single point in this game. Except for mid lane, it seems like. But they're just contently farming, except when there's a fight in the jungle and they just rotate to those.
There is a bit of a gold lead emerging right now, with a 1k gold lead already in the game. Which I'm not even sure how it's really happened. I guess it's just the amount prior. They've just forced them to miss minions every now and again.
Yeah, I suspect it's coming from Caitlyn, Syndra, and Graves, some combination of those three. Yeah, because there's an 8 CS lead almost in every single lane and almost 30 or 15 CS in bot lane. Doesn't matter because Zaya has a kill, so it sort of bounces out by like 300 gold. Yeah, they just go back to farming. This is the most stable this game has been.
Very true.
Where we just go back to farming.
What do you see people building into at this point of the game?
We're gonna see. I suspect that Zaya is gonna go some combination of Gale Force because there's a lot of stuff that if she doesn't dodge, results in a really bad time for her. Ornn is obviously gonna go something tanky, and Karma's Radiant Virtue Abuser because of her low ult cooldown. I'm very interested to see what the Tahm Kench and Nautilus build. I'm fond of Locket on Tahm Kench, just for the fact that that passive of Locket and the shield that it gives you is often life-saving before you've even like pressed any buttons. It can actually like result in Caitlyn not being deleted by Nocturne later. But we'll have to see. I don't know what Nocturne grabs as secondaries.
It's a very tanky team coming out from yeah. You see the Ornn engaging here.
Yeah, the Call of the Forge God comes in, and the knocker comes through, and the Ignite comes through, and I think they have a Solar Bola on her hands. And she's ticking, she's ticking, she's ticking. Is she dead? She just makes it out.
Yeah, interesting.
But it's a statement of intent, no? Like, Ornn sits there and looks at the Karma and says, you can play ranged Karma into me, doesn't matter, I can kill you anyway. And I have Unsealed Spellbook, so I'll just swap to TP and I'll do it again.
The Karma's just getting tankier, and that Ornn damage is going to be less and less eventually.
Yeah. But the thing is, Karma cannot tank as much as Ornn can tank. So if we're comparing the 1v1, Karma will end up winning that. But if we're comparing the overall 5v5, Karma's tankiness is not to be negated, but not as...
recalled here, and Chop has just gone, I'll just take the Herald, I think. He's just seen his mid laner. His mid laner's gone, Syndra's just recalled. And he's just going to get a Herald for free here, which is absolutely massive. Herald is one of the ways that this team would probably want to accelerate the game. Homo Salis. And interesting to see that Chop is just going to get it for free. He's also got level 6 now. Probably wants to reset and look at his bot lane.
Yeah, slowing down this game is like the key for BAF's win con, it seems like. And taking away that Herald slows it down significantly. Pulls Gravebind on his tempo and gives Nocturne more time to like set up his...
I don't know if his ult mid is...
I don't think he has vision.
Gold, right?
Yeah, I don't think he has vision either.
Entire ult from now. might just drop the Herald mid for some plates. Interesting to see if they can collapse on them.
Yeah, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get 2 in a bit. Hopefully Cassiopeia gets the gold. She doesn't get a hit on the turret, so Nocturne just gets all of that plate gold.
It looks
Nice
like he only got
sidestep
one
on
plate
ult.
as well. Is that real?
Yeah, he got 1 in a bit. I think it's because of the time and the armor that the plates get initially.
Nice. Yeah.
But it's still 175 gold into Nocturne's pocket. And he's gonna get his first back pretty soon. Graves didn't get that big wall from that. And we're gonna see what Doxon's gonna build out of that. Keeping in mind that the junglers are very, very even in terms of farm. Notice that they both have like 19 stacks on their jungle pets.
This Nocturne is sitting on at least 2k gold here as he goes in for an ult top lane. And he
Yeah,
just
hopefully-
has 0 damage. Oh my god. He is pinging question mark. He's about to recall and spend a 2.5k gold and realize that's what.
Yep. It's the Aegis Aegis of the Legion from the Karma just sort of laughing in the face of that single longsword. And Ornn hasn't pulled damage either, so there's this weird situation where they both go topside, realize they have no damage, and are very confused as to why they don't have any damage.
Yeah.
And Ornn just looks at the Nocturne and says, I'm a tank, bro. Like, I can't do anything about that.
I know that feeling too well as a jungler as well. You know, I'm very, very common to save up all my gold, but you know, sometimes it leaves you games. And Tom Kent just gets free hit.
Tom gets his free hooks, but he can sort of shrug those off with the grey health. He's just going to walk away. But
Oh!
Caitlyn has ulti, yeah.
The flash R from Momo Devil Loop. Absolutely astonishing.
Not falling apart as of yet, but it's tempo's swinging. Tempo's swinging very drastically in favor
And
of
we see
Homo
the
Salis,
mid lane matchup. How unfavorable it is for this Cassiopeia. She is having a rough ski time in the mid lane. She's just getting pushed to the tower. And the hook is phenomenal. Oh! Oh!
I'm having trouble seeing the stream, so if you can just keep going, if you can just comment on it for a bit.
Absolutely phenomenal flash up from Cassiopeia there. Jamie is caught sleeping underneath his tower, and he just gets absolutely disintegrated. Yeah. Spells. And Caitlyn takes a reset. Zara's gonna shove this blaze up. Interesting. Gets up the Gale Force though. Is this Gale Force from Dodgy Rocks here? Good.
Depends on what she goes second item. Yeah, it
The
depends on
tank's
what she
gonna
goes
be a
second.
big problem, I think, for him this game.
As long as he doesn't troll himself by going any combination of rapid fire cannon or yeah, literally anything that doesn't have AD damage. As the Nocturne ult's going to come in through, he actually finally bought stuff, so he's actually doing damage, but not enough damage. Karma has too much effective healing, but he's actually going to get the kill and walk away anyway. But he's going to walk straight into a Grave Syndra. Yeah, it's a bit of a the Nightmare walks into a nightmare that is an anime girl and a guy with a shotgun. But bot lane, the hook lands. The hook is going to come through. The depth shot is going to land as well. The Grey Health is going to get popped.
Oh my
Zai doesn't
god.
have enough damage, but she's actually going to stand in front of the way and tank that ace in the hole for her
Flash
Tom
in the
Kench.
way.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Support lives matter. Meanwhile, in mid lane, we have a fight. I don't think Graves wins this. It's a Cassiopeia is 2 levels up on him. But he has tenacity. The Syndra scatter the weak misses, and Cassiopeia is just going to slither away. She's not having any of this. Meanwhile, there's more fighting that's happening bot side.
Was an
A very-
absolutely
yeah.
very important sidestep there from the Cassiopeia on that scatter loop. That could have spelled real disaster. I think that could have been the tower and all. So that's a
very, very
massive play in the
intense.
grand scheme of things.
Very, very intense sequence of events. Nocturne goes top, ults top, and grabs the Karma kill, then proceeds to walk into the topside jungle, gets killed by Syndra Graves. Meanwhile, bot lane is fighting for control and contesting there, and realizing very, very quickly that Zaya does a lot of damage. Zaya almost killed Nautilus if she lands that her E. She pulls her feathers through and lands the loop. I don't think there's any way that Nautilus gets out of that.
The TP gets matched quite quickly here.
Yeah, double TP. We have 4 people bot side. Ornn has his ulti. but I don't think anything's going to come from this. They're all altered more defensively because he wants to make sure that the Karma didn't dive with the bot lane with the wave that was pushing. But now he's here for the drag, so we're going to see how this plays out. The dredge line comes through and misses. I'm on a slight delay, but it's okay. That's just the way things go. I don't need to see things in the future. I can see things in the past. It's fine. As we're going to see, the Karma is going to walk up. She's going to try and jostle for control over here. I think they're going to just get this drag for free. I don't think there's anything that BAF can do right now to get this. Zaya's left. Yeah, there's literally nothing they can do. They're conceding this. Cassiopeia's just going to catch this mid wave. Push this in.
It's been a very good opening from the game from BAF. I thought they could have done a lot worse here, given the comp disparity in the early game. I think they've set themselves up now to make it to that late game, hopefully. Just play it as slowly as they've been doing it so far. They've been doing pretty well, and I think they can come back into this game, to be honest.
Genuinely a better look than yesterday. 100% a better look than yesterday, because at this point yesterday, Vayne was on Mythic and like on second item at this point, and they'd already taken bot tier 1. Right now it's 50-50 as the Nautilus is going to land this hook. Else they're going to try and jump on top of the Caitlyn, but the Graves is nearby. I don't think this is a good idea. Yeah. Nocturne's going to come in though, and we're going to see how this develops. The Grey Hulk's going to get popped. The Fear comes in on Graves. It lands, and Zaya's going to get the first kill out of 3. She's going to get a double kill. Double kill for Granny Spanner. This is a massive turnaround for the other team. Comfort does matter, it seems. Putting Chop the Farm on his Nocturne, it's making a immense difference. He's actually more proactive. He seems more confident and comfortable right now.
Yeah, it almost seemed like Homo Salis just tried to force it a little bit too hard there without actually understanding where the Nocturne was, if he could match, which he clearly did. Had ult, came in, absolutely changed the fight, and I think just a little bit of disrespect there coming out off that Nocturne. You can just so quickly react to plays like that with his ult.
Yeah. It's going to get even scarier as he gets more and more levels. When he gets that level 16 ult, and he can basically ult from a lane away. This is fortunate timing that Nocturne was bot side, or it might not have been fortunate. He might have known that the jungler was pathing bot side and just came to respond.
Champs like Nocturne will always be good in UNL because of that factor there, where plays rarely happen, but when they do, it's really important to be able to react as a team. And just knowing you've got your Nocturne around, you can always just call from MDC and he just comes. It's a very good champ, I think.
Yeah, and it's working out wonders for protecting this bot lane. It's a very different look to yesterday, because you can see that Ornn TP'd bot side to cover the dive, the Nocturne is coming bot side to cover the gank. The Tom Kench is there to soak up the engage, so then Granny Spanner can actually play the game. And the Cassiopeia is there as a self-sufficient mid laner into the Syndra.
You see the junglers on the same side of the map again, and he's going to rinse and repeat this top side play. The Ornn ult comes down top of the Nocturne Fear perfectly to CC chaining. The Radiant Virtue is absolutely massive. Will he live? Oh yeah, my lord!
She's gonna have to flash, but she makes away with her life. But I think the problem is now Graves doesn't have a top lane to contest with his Herald. But he's gonna get it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, he's just gonna walk away with the Herald. So Nocturne actually loses more from that engage and not getting that kill.
That Karma was unbelievably tanky. That RW followed by the Radiant Virtue. He was healing like 300 a second. Phenomenal player though.
Yeah, that's the Radiant Virtue adjustments are coming next patch as well. So we're gonna see like how does Karma look after that. But right now, this Karma definitely something, not anything to be scoffed at, because she does a decent amount of damage in her kit innately. And she has a root, and she has a fat shield, and she has her mantra Q, all of which can be duplicated.
Yeah. We see Nocturne coming to the top side. Trying to pick up his Grom, but if I was him, I'd be trying to protect the bot lane, so push that quite far.
Yeah,
They've
we
got
need to.
Vision. They're respected quite a lot here. I respect that.
Yeah, backing off, making sure they don't get killed by the Graves, who just showed topside with Herald.
Yeah, it's a good understanding of when to play aggressively, because he's 3-0. You know, it's quite easy to step forward.
Yeah, she might be 30 CS down, but she's not like, there's nothing to scoff at when it comes to the Zaya. I think they should just back off this turret. Yeah, there's no way they get this turret. Graves could have put Herald down, but I think he was too scared of it dying before it hits on this tier 2 turret. Yeah, so we just have to see Yeah.
You save it, bring it mid here, try and take that mid tier one before the dragon spawns, and you got infinite mid prio. You know, just walk it straight down into the dragon pit. They should be trying to take fights here. I think if they let the game go on any longer, it's not going to be good. They need to get this this dragon solo on the cards, and I think that needs to be their next way of looking to win this game, because they are going to get outscale eventually here.
Is the drag a win, or is it a win drag?
Chemtic drag today, yeah.
Chemtic drag. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, Chemtic soul on this Ornn. Oh, the Ornn horn comes through, and we're gonna see double man knockup over here. The Nocturne's gonna actually try and ult in, and we're gonna see that Radiant Virtue. That Radiant Virtue is too big, but they actually get the first kill. Cassiopeia melts the Nautilus. And she gets killed in response, but Zaya's in a really, really bad spot. This is a really, really bad fight for them. It started off really, really good, but that Radiant Virtue pop from that Mantra E from Karma made this game very, very unplayable and very unattainable.
And when that came down, they just needed to respect it, move back a little bit, and I think they could have done it well. But the Cassio ran in, actually kind of baited the Zaya in. The Zaya ends up dying without using Flash or Ra. And I think now we're seeing the power of this early game comp. When BAF just had to not force anything that they've been doing for the last couple of minutes. They needed to just bide their time, wait for a little mistake, and scale ultimately. And I think they kind of forced it there with the all engaged Nocturne R, and the Nocturne just goes way too deep in this one foul.
Yeah, it's generally it's not doomed yet. I wouldn't say the game is over. It's just looking a lot more. It's looking a lot harder to play. With this 5k gold lead, or almost 5k gold lead, for this Zaya. She's only 1,000 gold down. Everyone else is 1,000 gold on AD, 1,000 gold jungle, 1,000 gold mid, basically. As the ult's going to come through, they're going to see if they can get a pick off of this, but no, Zaya dies immediately. Zaya's not going to... It's really, really hard for the Zaya to play.
I think Bath will take that sort of trade, because ultimately, if they don't have 5 members on the board, it's a lot harder for them to be forced down. I think they'd rather play a 3v3, and I don't think they're going to take Baron now. Whereas before, they were so strong they could just walk up mid, but Jamie overextends a little bit, and ultimately dies to the Nocturne.
And a shutdown onto Syndra as well, going into the pocket of the Nocturne. Which is going to get invested into that Hex Drinker as well. That Hex Drinker is actually a really, really smart buy here. There's a lot of mixed damage here, but if you're not dying to the first instance of burst, which is Syndra, he can potentially do other things. He can actually buy stopwatch and potentially stopwatch the rest of the damage. But you never want to buy stopwatch into Caitlyn anyway. So this is like the best defensive option at the moment, besides just straight buying armor. As this Baron is up now, and the next strike is only 3 minutes, how does BAF win this? How do they come back from this?
Well, ultimately, they need to just be contesting as much prior as possible, and never go 4 to 5 down. They need to make sure they're always trading 1-for-1. As soon as Homo and Salis get a man advantage here, that Baron is going to go down instantly. And we see, probably could have gone on the graves there, but he was a little bit scared of where the rest of the team was.
Yeah, blind. Caitlyn is missing, or she was just seen on midwave, which means Nocturne is there, or Nautilus is there as well. Cassiopeia doesn't have TP, so her being bot lane is kind of suspect. It means it's effectively a 4v4 if a fight does start up mid or top side. So I think she's going to have to go back and catch that bot wave lane, and they just need to properly push out lanes, it looks like. My Dad is Black has been hard forcing for this top tier 1. It still doesn't get it, but we're going to see that the Ornn comes through, the TP is going to come through as well, the Nocturne ult's going to come through, but it's too much. The healing's too much, the Radiant Virtue healing is too much, the ability ace is too much. There's just too much for this Nocturne to be able to play the game, even with that Maw of Malmortius, or Hex Drinker as it was. As they can finally go get this top tier 1 after 23 minutes.
I think, sadly, this Nocturne is not the main character of this game. You have to just look at the Zaya and be like, I need to just make fights happen when Zaya can hit them for free. And that didn't look like one of them. That looked like a...
It looked like a desperation force, yeah.
Yeah,
it looked like
we didn't need to be. Just play around this Zaya. If he lands a good Nocturne ult right in front of the Zaya, he helps the field. Like, that's the win con, I feel like. Especially in this mid game where the Nocturne isn't actually very strong for attacks. as we can see from the Radiant Virtue. And the Graves just has an infinite amount of armor as well. It's very hard to
Yeah.
do.
While we were talking, the Caitlyn and Nautilus pushed over that mid tier to getting all that gold into Caitlyn. It's obviously split between her and Nautilus, but getting all that gold funneled into Caitlyn. Similar strat should be applied by BAF. Funnel as much gold into Zaya as possible. Properly push out that bot lane. Properly push out that mid lane or top lane. Give you a lane to play with. Because right now they're constantly on like their heels, trying to respond to a fight while also trying to not drop farm. Yeah, pushing this mid lane's good, but they need to push one of these. They need to push top or bot and threaten one of these tier 1s, or else they're just going to be playing from a disadvantage perpetually.
Yeah, and Homo Salis going to look for the Chemtech Soul now, for sure, as it comes up in a couple of minutes, it should be.
Yeah, but Zaya's got Navori quick blades, so even though she's 14,000 or 1,400 gold down to this Caitlyn, who has Last Whisper, Zaya with Navori is not something to be scoffed at. She does a surprising amount of front-loaded damage through her Q and her W, and then she does a lot of back-loaded damage when she presses her E, if she can land a really, really good E. But I don't think they have enough time to set up in a proper like position. Or Tom Kenny's going to be walking
Is on mid, and they're going to see that and feel like they have a lot of prio now, and just walk at them, I feel like.
Yeah, they're just going to burst this down. Cassio's in the wrong place, and Graves taking up so much space, making it really hard for Cassio to walk up.
This Zaya needs to not get caught and do damage, and she has a lot to do in this fight, I feel like.
Someone needs to step on the trap. We need to get through this choke point. You can't be stuck in this choke, because they're just going to start hitting the
I think
drag.
I know what's about to happen. Nocturne's about to ult in and get one shot, and the rest of the team stand there. As we see,
The Ornhorn
not
comes
happening,
through.
to be honest.
The
Zaya is
Nocturne
free hitting. It.
I think Zaya gets one. The Blade Port, the Featherstorm comes through. Zaya's going to get two. She's good for two. There's a 2v3 here. Jungle is dead, however. Graves is chasing. Jace is running down. Graves doesn't have ulti, though. So they're just going to try and chase the Zaya down. It's a
There was
really,
so
really
much
good fight.
happening at once there. Yeah.
Literally a glimpse of what could be, in which BAF doesn't die immediately. Like,
Yeah.
it was
It is
unfortunate
pretty
that
sad.
Nocturne died immediately. In my opinion, he should have waited for Tom Kenshin on to start the fight, and then also waited a second and then gone in. Waited for that Radiant Virtue to pop immediately, and then also when the Radiant Virtue healing dies down, then the actual ult comes through. But Zaya's
It is a
alive.
very hard fight to play for BAF here. They are behind, and they're behind on the positioning and the terrain as well. The Caitlyn get her traps down. There's the Syndra standing out of vision, ready to just stun anyone who walks up. It is pretty hard to play there, and I think, yeah, I mean you can just look at the vision rate. It's pretty hard for them to even get vision based on all the prior they have in all the lanes and such.
But Zaya's hitting. Zaya's actually doing a lot of damage. I think she was good for. She got 2 kills there actually. Yeah, this literally the Navori spike is so massive on Zaya. They just need to make sure that they don't immediately put themselves at a man disadvantage before Zaya can actually set herself up to do damage.
Graves was also huge, and he just built a Shirildus from scratch. So I'm very interested to see what this next Graves will look like. I think he wants to test it out.
Yeah, I think he's looking for a one shot here. Zaya doesn't
Yeah.
have any mobility. She still has her ulti, but she doesn't have Ghost. She doesn't have Flash. Yeah, just looking at the summons, you can see like how the symptoms of that previous fight. One has TP and one has exhaust. So we're gonna see Nocturne's gonna walk up blindly into this bush. I think he's just gonna get one shot immediately. Nearsight's blinded, shot to death. He can't do anything. Is he just gonna take this Baron?
And I think that is a pretty sad moment in the game for BAF here, because this Baron, now they don't have to force anything. They just walk it down any of these lanes. We already know how high range they are and how annoying it is for them to go on top by I think they're in a very good spot here. They don't force anything, they just walk down lanes as 5, 3 and 2, and yeah, they are in a good spot now.
Yeah, it seems like such a minor thing, but the importance of having double TP. The blind comes through, the dredge line lands as well. The call of the Ornn comes through. Zaya's free hitting as well. She's actually going to pull the E through. Cassiopeia's going to get the first kill. Graves is going to try and walk up. Zai's going to Feather Storm in the wrong direction, but Cassiopeia is good for 2. Caitlin's going to Gale Force, but she's Gale Force into the tank. She does no damage. Cassiopeia is still mid lane. And they're just going to walk away. They get 2. They're taking 2 Baron buffs off this team. This gold lead is shrinking significantly. It was 7,000. Now it's only 5. As they're just going to waddle their way back to base.
Yeah,
You can see
saw
the
a
hope in
much
their eyes.
better way
Yeah.
to play the fight there from BAF. The engage went down too early from Homo Salis. I thought they didn't need to force too much, but they reacted the right way. They didn't counter force with the Nocturne ult into the backline. They put the Cassio W down and they walked backwards like they should into the Xayah, into the Caitlyn, into the Xayah, into the Cassiopeia. That's where they're strong, right? They want the enemies to walk at them, and they played that fight pretty well in the end there. Kind of reacting very well to pretty egregious engage by Homo Salis.
Keeping in mind, they won that fight 4v5, by the way. Nocturne had died before the Baron spawned, or before the Baron was taken, and then that fight happened about 20 seconds afterwards. Which means that if you add the Nocturne blind there, I think they ace them probably. Ace them, if not take away 3 or 4 Barons.
I want to see them learn from their mistakes here. Not force too much, just walk down the lanes. Still got some Baron buff dropping around. I feel like they can. We're going to see the Xayah actually pick up a Hex Drink as well. I really like that line.
Hex Drink is really, really good. Stops you from being burst by that Syndra and potentially that Karma. Gives her a lot of Omni Yeah, the Ornn ult is going to come through, and we're going to see if it lands on anything. It lands on the Nautilus, then also the Abyssal Dive from the Tahm Kench is going to come through. The Cassiopeia is going to get knocked up by that depth charge, but they don't get anything from that. That
massive.
That turret is going to get melted. They need to invest in some anti-heal. The new Mortal Reminder came out. Someone needs to buy anti-heal. I don't think I see a single instance besides this Nocturne. But if Nocturne's at the fight, it means that they're just going to be healing up to full, and that's a problem.
Nocturne is waiting.
Yeah, the Nautilus comes through, the Graves comes through. Ornn is still alive, the Abyssal Dive is going to come through, but they're not going to get anything. The Fat Shield, the Grey Health is going to come to 3-man Cassiopeia stack. But they don't do enough damage. The Radiant Virtue. The Radiant Virtue does too much, yeah.
And the Xayah went down, and just like that, I don't see a way they can win the rest of this fight now. That Xayah is so pivotal and has so much damage. Again, when the Cassiopeia went down, if Xayah could hit them, it would have been phenomenal. But unfortunately, Xayah was just too far away, gets taken down, and we're starting to see it all come apart now.
Yeah, it's all coming apart at the seams. One really, really misjudged team fight, and an unfortunate Nocturne ult and Graves that is just doing too much damage at that ulti of his. And a Radiant Virtue Karma. I cannot understate the power of this Radiant Virtue Karma. Can we hover over Radiant Virtue? Because I want to see how much this item is done in terms of total healing. Sheesh. Yeah, almost 5,000 healing to allies and 1,000 healing to self. This is not including the amount of bonus shield and healing that Karma is giving your team passively. Because if you think of it this way, if Karma Shield heals for 500, as Ornn is just going to run in.
They need this type of pick though. If they have any hope in hell, this type of pick just before the Elder Dragon spawns, this is how it has to go down. This is going to be it. If they could get this Elder Dragon, they might have a chance of winning the game. But I don't know if they can do it quick enough for it to burst it down. Graves is definitely going to try and get in that pit.
Yeah, he's going to attempt it, but there's no Ornn Horn, there's no...
They're not engaging, they're just going for steal. As the Graves goes into the pit, he doesn't get the smite. BAF have the Elder Dragon as they get an engage going. But I think they just want to walk out here. Gardevoir goes quite deep. He manages to walk out, I think, just by the end.
I think he's fine. There's no Elder. He's gonna walk away with 3 Elder buffs in tow. I think that's 4 Elder buffs total. The only person who died there was the Tahm Kench.
Really nice.
Really, really edge of your seat gaming here. Xayah's gonna be building that BF or Bloodthirster as well. You can see the BF sword crit cloak.
And sadly, that whole play happened because Jamie was just walking in the river, sadly. And really well done to capitalize on that, because they might be able to do something here. They're getting pushed away from this top tower. That's not what we saw a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, the complete opposite. They were fighting for that tier 1 for the past 25 minutes, and now this game is taking a slight turn. This gold lead is also shrinking significantly. It was almost 10,000 or 8,000 to 10,000 gold, and now it's only within 5,000.
Baron is up
Um,
in 45 seconds. I think we are going to see a big fight over that. I think they
yeah,
need
we're
to
gonna
get rid of this. They need to dispatch this bot wave ASAP and get over to that Baron side. They need to be contesting for vision because we saw how bad it was last time when Caitlyn gets to set up all her traps and they're walking into the Syndra. I think they need to get over there ASAP.
yeah,
We'll
that's
see what's gonna happen.
Zai's finished Bloodthirster as well. She has a lot of sustain. That Hex Drinker pops, and then she could just heal up all of that damage with the BT as well.
They need to not give this Baron for free though. That would be a recipe for disaster. Um, they need to get over there, I think.
Yeah, Nocturne's coming out of base. Baron's going to be spawning, or just spawned now, and we're gonna see how much damage these guys can do if they can clear some vision. If they can do, they need to be proactive
They
before
only
Nocturne
have
gets
about 30 seconds left on Elder, by the way. And I think they kind of waiting out for the Elder, and
They
it's
should
working.
start this. Yeah, they should
Surely
start this.
they wanna do something quickly while they still have Elder, right?
Yeah, they should start hitting this, and also when the other team comes to contest, then they just turn on them potentially. They have Nocturne ult, they
I
have
like
Call of the Ornn, they have so
They're
many
not
things. They have
engaging too
Nocturne.
soon. And they go in with the Ornn ult. The Palm Kench gets pulled out. And the Baron gets stolen! Judgy Rocks is just hitting on the backline as the Graves goes absolutely wacky in the backline. And we see the Xayah not being able to take down that Graves. He is just way too tanky. And I think
Yeah,
they could just walk away with it here.
Literal worst case scenario, but it's what happens when you're this far behind as well. It's really hard to play against 4 souls with all that tenacity, all that heal shield power as well. Because if you weren't getting enough healing from Radiant Virtue, you're getting what, 12% bonus heal shield from Chemtech.
It's
they're just gonna,
unreal.
yeah, they're just gonna walk down mid, just end it this way. Really, even though they lost the game, really good showing from BAF. Really good showing from BAF in presence of yesterday's game. Zai's gonna get dredge line, but she's gonna get eaten up and she's gonna get thrown back in the tower, deposited safely. But yeah,
We saw the potential of a very scaling comp there. And
yeah.
if they had just been a little bit easier on the trigger in the middle game, would have been a really tasty late game there. But ultimately, very well played by Homo Salis. Like,